All right, 7th grade, last grammar page for the week. Diagramming adjective phrases. So what that means for you is diagramming prepositional phrases, okay? And then diagramming participial phrases, which we've already done a little bit in class. So prepositional phrases always start with a slanted line and a straight line. Preposition always on the slanted line, object always on the straight line. And then whatever other adjectives you have in your prepositional phrase, you put underneath your object. Underneath there, participial phrases. So you've diagrammed your participles. Those are your words that we slanted across. And then you could have adverbs in them. They go underneath your participle. You can have prepositional phrases in them. It goes underneath your participle. You see here, it's got its own direct object and indirect object. But something to note, if it's in your prepositional phrase, then it comes off of the preposition, under the preposition, okay? If it's in your participial phrase, it comes off under and is connected to your participle, nowhere else, okay? All right, so we have 10 sentences here. I'm going to do the first 5 with you, and then the second half will be the ones to do on your own. Remember to feel free and email me or text me or call me if you've got a question. I had a few of you do that with your last one. I'm happy to help, okay? And just like last time, I'm going to move down here to my piece of paper where I wrote my sentences out for me. Somebody emailed me and asked if they have to write it like this. You don't have to. I'm just doing this so I can have the sentence there for you to see. So, just like we did when we were diagramming our adjectives, start by finding your main points. Subject, verb, complement. We're going to start there. And then everything else is going to go underneath. So if we look at the first one, the mirror in the golden frame sparkled. So, subject, mirror, and the mirror did what? Sparkled. If we don't have anything after the verb, that means we don't have a complement. So, let's diagram what we have so far. We've got mirror as our subject. Separate it from your verb, and we've got sparkled. About to misspell it. Okay, so that means everything else that's left goes underneath. So start from the beginning. We have the. Article adjectives always go underneath the noun they're in front of. So we'll put it underneath mirror. Make sure you capitalize it. And in the golden frame, prepositional phrase. So what was in the golden frame? Mirror. So underneath mirror is where it'll go. So prepositional phrase, start with the slanted, and your preposition always goes on the slanted, in. And then you start with your straight, or continue with your straight, sorry. And then you put your object of your prepositional phrase, sorry, I'm moving around, y'all. You put your object of your prepositional phrase on the straight line, frame. So we have 2 words left in our prepositional phrase, the and golden. Both of those modify what? Frame. So underneath there, I'll put the first because it appears first in the sentence. And then golden next. And that's a prepositional phrase used as an adjective. Something else that's helpful. Remember, if it's an adjective, it can only go underneath nouns and pronouns. So that eliminates anything under your verb there, okay? All right, number 2, longer sentence. Got to back up here. So, John Alden married the pilgrim girl with golden hair and blue eyes. So, let's go up here. Start with the subject. John Alden. What did he do? Married. So, action or linking? Action, so we're looking for a direct object. So, he married what? Find the noun. girl. So there's your direct object. And then look for an indirect. Do we have one? It's got to be in between your verb and your direct object, and it has to be a noun or a pronoun. Do we have anything like that? No. So let's diagram what we do have. Start with your subject. John Alden. Continue with your verb. And then we have a direct object. So is that a straight line or a slanted line? Yep, straight it is. And we have girl. So we've got our subject, verb, and complement done. That means everything else goes underneath. So let's start with the first available word. We have the, and that goes always goes underneath the noun it's in front of, which is girl. Then we have pilgrim. Pilgrim is telling you what? What kind of girl? So it'll go under there. Make sure you capitalize. And then after girl, with golden hair and blue eyes, prepositional phrase. Okay? And you see that conjunction? So it's a prepositional phrase with more than one object. So let's start with the slanted. What always goes on there? Preposition. And since we have two objects, I need to split it into two lines. Okay? So your first object, hair. Second object, eyes. Your conjunction, and then we have two words left. Golden. Golden is telling you what kind of hair, and blue is telling you what kind of eyes. There you have that one. Okay, so we're moving to 3. A longer sentence again. Let me adjust. Sorry if I'm making you seasick. So this is a different type here, okay? So we have sneezing loudly during the service. Jonathan disturbed the entire congregation. Let's find our main things first, our subject. So we've got Jonathan. What did he do? He disturbed. So he disturbed what? What answers that? Congregation. Wait, what kind of verb is disturbed? Action or linking? Action. So that means we have a direct object. Okay? So let's diagram that. Start with your subject. Separate it from your verb, disturbed. And he disturbed what? Congregation. What kind of line does a direct object need? Straight. Okay, so we have lots left. Sorry, I'm adjusting. I'm sitting on the ground. So we have lots of things left that go underneath. So we're starting at the beginning. Sneezing, ing, sneezing loudly during the service. So here we have our first participial phrase to diagram, okay? So the only thing that is going to touch your noun, whatever it modifies, is the participle. So let's start with that. It's the slanted straight, and we slant it across, sneezing. All right, our next word is loudly. So loudly is telling you how they sneezed. So I'm going to go under there. Slanted line, loudly goes on there. And then we have during the service. What is that? I think that's a prepositional phrase. So during the service is telling you when it sneezed. Because remember, everything that's inside of this participial phrase goes underneath or is attached to the participle, not up here. So slanted line. Our preposition goes there. Straight line. Our object goes there. And then we have the. Always goes underneath the nouns it's in front of. And we've done our participial phrase. But we're not done yet. We still have 2 words left. The and entire. The and entire both go under what? You got it, congregation. So the goes first. Entire is second. And there you have the third diagram done. Okay, number 4. Sweeping the kitchen floor, Mom whistled a tune. What is your subject? Mom, what was she doing? She whistled, and then she whistled what? Tune. So if this is an action verb, I have a direct object. Let's diagram it. Make sure you're capitalizing what you need to. Whistled. She whistled what? Tune. And action verb, so straight line it is. So that means everything else I have goes underneath. So let's start at the beginning. Sweeping the kitchen floor. Participial phrase because it's got that ing. So who was sweeping? Mom was. So that's where it'll go. So participial phrase always starts slanted straight. Slant your participle across. Sweeping. So we don't have, like up here, we had an adverb. We don't have that. We don't have a prepositional phrase. So the only other option it can have is a direct and indirect object. So that's what we need to look for. So we ask ourselves, she was sweeping what? Floor. So if you have a direct object, what you're going to do, and it gives you an example of this in your book, extend this line, put your direct object, and since it's action, it's a straight line. Okay? And then we have the and kitchen. Both of those words modify what? Floor. So the goes first under floor. Kitchen is second. And there's your diagram for 4. I'm going to go to my next page for number 5. Sorry, I'm adjusting again, y'all. It's up at the top. Okay, so let me wrap this behind. I'll put it back. Okay, so let's find our basics. Subject, your verb, and God is what? Ruler. What kind of verb is? Action or linking? Oh, it's linking this time. So instead of direct object, I have a predicate nominative. All right, let's diagram. Subject first, verb next, predicate nominative. So what kind of line do I need here now? That's right, slanted. All right, everything else underneath it goes. So our is telling you who's what? God. Make sure you capitalized. And then we have of heaven and earth. Prepositional phrase. So of heaven and earth is telling you what kind of ruler. So preposition always starts with the slanted. Preposition always goes on the slanted. And then we have 2 objects. Start with your first one, heaven. Your second one, earth. And then what kind of conjunction? And there you have your 5th diagram. So remember, if you have any questions about 6 through 10, don't hesitate to ask me. Shoot me a quick text. You can call me or like some of y'all did, you can send me an email with your question. I'll be happy to help you.